Can you get a level?
Oh, I can get a level.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Can I get a witness?
That depends on your drawing power.
Right. Now, I could go 8 ways to open the show without you doing anything. It was all me. This is my new personality, by the way.
Yeah.
My ego is bloated. I've been hearing good buzz about the podcast around town. And now I'm just going to be like, instead of being vulnerable, I'm just going to say, let's do this. Bravado.
That's good.
The bravado hour.
People have been asking for more insufferability.
Hey, let me tell you people something. If you don't think I can go from 0 to insufferable,
and you have not heard Thought Spiral, people.
You weren't there on my wedding night.
Night.
That's pretty good. 0 to insufferable. That implies that somewhere along the lines.
I think that could be could be the album title that sets your album free.
Why do you call it coitus? Why do you call it that?
Coitus?
Coitus.
Coitus?
Why do you call it that?
Are you talking about coitus?
Is that what it is? It's a bad word. Then some words are bad.
I need to interrupt you saying coitus.
Oh, you see what you did? You would be perfectly happy wearing a floppy hat, living in a land with leprechauns, and writing.
Really,
puns.
You're giving me pun scorn.
Yes.
The man who goes, not on my watch.
Well,
would you like a leather band? Not on my watch.
You're talking about the different. This is classic comedy delivery. Well, I started to get excited. I was like, "Who is that guy?" Then I remembered it was me. Not on my watch.
This is not my first rodeo.
Is this your impression of me? How about what do I
it's
sound
my
like
scornful
impression as a baby?
I'm wishing you into the scornfield right now.
You didn't even go into the character. You know, that's why you have never gotten a catchphrase going. If I had been you, I would have been making
the weird thing
baby
is that
shirts.
The one catchphrase I ever really had was on Mystery Science Theater, My Evil Scientist.
What was the catchphrase?
He would, right before he'd send the horrible movie to Joel in space, he'd go, enjoy!
Oh.
And the only person it caught on with was Donald Trump at the end of his tweets.
Oh. I think that's depressing that you are trying to find parallels between you and Donald Trump.
No, it is a depressing parallel. That's what I'm saying. But
yeah.
It was an evil scientist I was playing.
Yeah, but
that was my idea of evil, and then it has been manifested in Donald Trump. So prescient is what I'm saying it was.
What's that?
Prescient.
Yes. I love that word. And who in 2000? My whole thing now is just one upping you, and I don't even know why.
I don't know why.
I don't know what the topic is. I don't know what the goal is. But in 2008, I did that Trump University thing that's still available online on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Now that 8 years ago, prescient. I'm talking about Trump University.
Oh, this is on the root of all evil.
On the root of all evil. And why am I not more recognized? Why am I not more celebrated? Why am I not more?
I have to tell you, people were calling Donald Trump a dick long before 2008.
First, my father was the first person to hate him. My father hated him all the way through. Never thought there was anything funny about him.
Right.
Like that. It was, like we would joke about.
There was that time when your dad was a black guy trying to get an apartment, right?
That's right, and he was part of that class action lawsuit. Because you know why?
He's a class act. That's why.
See, that's all I was thinking about. Because I was sinking down to your level. Where puns.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, puns.
Okay.
You're like Ira Fistel.
Let's bash puns
on
my watch.
Do you remember Ira Fistel?
I don't.
He's an AM radio guy here who was good with puns. He'd have once a week. He'd have Casual Friday or something on his AM talk show. And
what is Casual Friday on a radio show?
It didn't work. And I'm going to tell you, Ira Fistel, if you're listening right now, lose it. And then he had this one guy. He had this one guy call up, and this one guy. You just gestured to me
because
as if we're doing, as if this is the most important radio play of all time. You looked more shocked.
Okay,
than when
it's a radio play now. Andy exits the room and starts talking from an entirely different location.
When they thought the NASA rocket ship wouldn't come back, they looked less panicked when they were planning what to do. Do you remember that? Didn't they do something and they got home? Isn't that what Apollo 13 is about?
Yes, that's what it was.
Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks got backed away from the microphone and they had to get him back from space.
You know what I liked about Tom Hanks in that movie?
Everything?
He wasn't doing stand-up. I love Tom Hanks. You have to love Tom Hanks.
Who doesn't like Tom Hanks, really?
Everybody does.
There's people who lie about not liking Tom Hanks.
Well, he used to anger me when I was younger.
Well, he was successful.
He was successful, and I had done nothing to become successful.
Right.
And that's what stuck in my craw.
Yeah.
I hadn't even gone on an audition yet. It's like, what's Tom Hanks have that I don't have? An audition he has, an agent. Right. He got out of bed.
He's sucking up all my oxygen.
Yeah. He wasn't waking and baking in a small single apartment in Santa Monica. He was out there.
That's right. So it's our 10th show.
This is very exciting.
Very exciting.
What was that, like a fake sigh you did there? What was that?
I don't know. No, I think it was a real sigh.
Do you know that I could have been someone named Cy in a previous life? Cy.
You still could play a guy named Cy.
That's because I have range. I could play a guy named Cy.
You could play a Hyman.
I could play a Hyman. You see, you laughed you laugh like you laugh when we still watch Beavis and Butthead. You're laughing and giggling at the word Hyman.
No, I was laughing. It was more at your expense than the naughty word. It wasn't a naughty word.
Okay, because I've grown up and I'm past all the adolescent humor.
It was more like Hyman Roth. It was a Jewy thing.
I love Hyman Roth, and I love the guy who played Hyman Roth because he's
Lee Strasberg.
Lee Strasberg. It would be sad if Lee Strasberg's acting was terrible.
Wouldn't it?
But it wasn't terrible.
No, he was quite good.
Lee Strasberg was good. Yes. He could bring it.
I also enjoyed him when I was a kid in Going in Style. Loved that movie when I was...
Is there... Ooh, I just snapped my lips as if I was swallowing popcorn. What? Is that also with Peter Falk in it?
No, it was George...
That's the In-Laws.
George
Segal?
That is the In-Laws, but Lee Strasberg was not in the In-Laws.
George Segal?
No.
I'm just going to start saying names from the past. Glenda Jackson?
Nada.
Why do I have to be closer to the mic this week than I had to be last week? What have you done?
It's the same distance.
I like there to be... I'm very conscious of my brand.
Yes.
And my brand is not right on the mic. My brand is, hey, how are you? How's it going?
You're fine there. You're fine there. You can't lean back.
I don't need you,
okay,
people.
now you're... Yeah.
All right. But I create my own reverb. Echo. A lot of the kids don't do that today. You know what I used to, my first hit comedy, I had one effect device. It was like the guy who played guitar in The Police.
Yeah.
Kind of like
chorus. A comedic
chorus.
stomp box.
No, it's a chorus. I would have that in my voice. God, that was a long way to go for not a joke.
Well, you know, sometimes it's about the journey to nowhere.
That's what I tell the crowds. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Come
Wait
to
till
my
the
show.
End of my act.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
exactly right. Josh is writing my speech for Montreal this year, which I'm very happy about.
That's good. As long as you don't go, this is what you did last year. I didn't know I was writing a joke for your thing.
I credited you immediately after?
Immediately after
what
it didn't
was the joke,
work.
do you remember?
Immediately after it didn't work, you credited me.
Well, yeah. That's what we call in the business throwing someone under the bus.
Yes, it was. I did not volunteer for that bus ride, however.
I'll give you other examples.
It was the Antichrist turning water into wine.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I'm going to write it down. I love it so much. I'm going to tell you a story now that shows that I will throw anyone under the bus.
Yes.
So I'm on. It's going to be name droppy because why not make it fun for the people? My story. So I was on Letterman, and Biff got confused. He thought I was coming out. Something to do with it was a top 10 list by Obama that had been pre-taped.
Uh-huh.
So he thought I was coming out after the Obama, whatever the thing was.
Maybe he thought you were coming out to read the top 10 list or something.
No.
No, I think it was that.
Okay, well, look, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. So I hear my name called, right? I hear my name called, and then I realize I have to go out on the stage, but now Biff is blocking me. He's holding me back from entering because he thinks he was told it was going to be me, then Obama's top 10, or whatever the thing was. And I wrestled with him, and then I finally went out there, and Dave had a concerned look on his face.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so here's how I threw. Who do you think I threw under the bus?
Biff.
He had a look on his face, and I felt like I had to explain why I was late, right?
Biff, but Biff.
I said, Biff would stop. Biff wouldn't let me out. Then when I left that segment, Biff said to me something along the lines, did you tell him that I wouldn't let you?
You son of a bitch.
So that made me feel like I would not be good if my wife was threatened or if anything was that I needed to do.
Yeah.
I would not go to the wall for somebody.
Right. You would have, if this was defending your life, you'd have extra long judgment sessions.
Yeah. I think I am I don't call myself a hero. But you're welcome to.
Okay.
I'll
keep it in my back pocket.
What's that?
I'll keep that in my back pocket.
I hate it when people would do this thing where they go, I don't even know what they're doing. They lick their finger and they go like that. That's right, one. Like, what's the licking of the finger for?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Am I making that up? It's not even there?
No, it's a real thing.
Right.
I agree with you that it's, I don't know what it's referencing.
Also, I admire it, but I don't do it. I don't turn pages licking my fingers like Letterman does, but he's a professional.
I will occasionally have to lick my
fingers
because
it works.
Separate a page or two.
It works.
Yeah.
And you've accepted that you're not going to do it. You're going to do it politely.
I don't do it on my iPad.
Hey, this is not your father's iPad.
Huh?
Come on. Do you have to really do an impression of how the crowd would react to that if I did it? Wahoo!
Huh?
So, what was I going to say? Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. You don't,
Oh, okay. So there's another episode of and please feel free to trim around these hilarious stories, but leave some breath in them.
Right.
No, then another time. So Biff's involved in two of my stories.
Letterman foibles.
Yeah. He during my stand-up set, he falls into something backstage, really? And you hear.
Was that his voice?
No, it was him knocking in a device.
Okay.
Right, and so you know what I did? I said. I have to. Well, I didn't know it was him until after. I was told afterwards. I had to say, everybody heard that, right? I can't just, I just had to size up that I couldn't. That it was a sound I couldn't ignore.
Right.
Because once I saw a comic, and I won't bring her name up because she's very sweet, and so, but she lost her belt during her Johnny Carson set.
I just saw that a couple months ago when they were rerunning old.
And she
Carson.
didn't comment about.
But she was pretty awesome.
Yeah, she was awesome. But I think you got to say, I lost my belt.
Yeah, but you're so like during the Carson years. I mean, especially, it's like I'm sure you were so like.
Yeah,
I have to stick to my time. I can't do anything else.
Well, I'm learning all about the Carson years from "I'm Dying Up Here,"
yes.
Which is like what they should say is they paid off. Who's a great author, William Knadel Sayer. Based on the book that we paid off. Like, they paid him off to not use anything that he had, the actual information from his book.
Right.
Which was great, which I recommend that book highly. I'm Dying Up Here.
Good book.
William Knadel Sayer. It's a weird spelling. It's all about the Comedy Store. And they've used that as the template, if you will, for I'm Dying Up Here. And the only thing I'll say is, and there's funny people on the show, so don't get me in trouble, Josh. I have enough enemies. Right. There are people I respect on the show. But there's a scene where a comic hits somebody over the head, I think, with a cigarette machine. This did not happen to me.
Cigarette machine?
Or with something like that. Some kind of he hits him over the head with something.
Okay.
That did not happen to me when I was coming up.
No, never.
No. One time maybe I spilled some nachos on myself.
Right.
But there were no.
Did you mention it though, like the belt, or did you just try to go play through the nachos?
I don't know. You've excuse me. You've created a very strange hypothetical there. Not a hypothetical. I'm sorry, I'm coughing. But the thing that's about I'm Dying Up Here is they couldn't be more deadly serious. That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah.
They're dead. I'm going to write that down, too. Because I don't care about this podcast. I want to prepare for my speech. They're like, everybody in the show is like, their version of how comics hang out is like just saying horrible things about each other, basically.
Right.
I fucked your mother. I screwed you. Did your mother like it last night when I was with her? I don't remember. Again, that's nothing I said when I came up.
Right. But you didn't come up in the rough and tumble early 70s.
Well, that's the thing. I came up right after that period.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, in fact, let me say it this way. I went to the Comedy Store before I was a comic.
Yeah.
So I saw the Comedy Store in like 1980.
Right.
How long have I been out? I mean, since the beginning of the podcast. Not this one. The first one.
Right.
Have I come to it all?
We've had, in 10 episodes, that's like a 12-hour conversation. It's like...
We've had 12 hours of...
It's like my flight to China with Andre.
And for the kids who don't know that, that's based on the movie My Dinner with Andre, which is a brilliant movie.
Don't footnote me.
I'll footnote you. I'll footnote you with my foot up your note. Oh, that could have been either one of our catchphrases.
There's still time.
All I'm saying is, I've watched every episode of Dying Up Here, and I will continue to watch it. But also, you know what's amazing? That I remember the Comedy Store having 45 or 55 nooks and various little hangout areas.
Little dialogue nooks.
Yeah, dialogue nooks and hangout areas. First of all, I never played the Comedy Store, so I don't know what I'm talking about except a couple of times.
Have you never?
Oh, no, I actually was... I auditioned there. It was the first club I went to. She actually said, because her daughter is very nice, Sandy Shore, that's her name.
Yeah.
It's not her fault. She got me an audition, and then she said, she said I could park cars or whatever the job was. And even though I would do anything, there were two things I would never do. I would never do one of Jamie Masada's sadistic things where he would, everybody has to meet up at 8 in the morning to wait on a 14-hour line to put your name on the list. I would never do anything like that.
Right.
And I would never do, I didn't want to be a doorman.
Right.
I just thought it was weird.
I got approved to do spots by Mitzi, but it was like such a horrible place at the time.
Oh, that was it. What
this
years
was like
was
92,
that? Yeah,
90, no, probably 93 by the time I actually got approved for doing sets there. And the weird thing was, it was like I had a buddy named Scott Day who was booking the room at that time. So it was like the one place in town where I really actually had an in, and yet I still didn't want to go do sets there.
Yeah.
Every time I would go there, it would just feel like my soul was being ripped out by tiny fish hooks. And now it's like, it's totally happening.
Yeah,
right
everybody
now.
says it's, yeah, well,
I just had lunch with Tom Segura the other day, and
he says,
saying,
yeah.
he just says it's great there.
People
right
say
now.
the crowds are great, and I'm only saying people say, not like I'm trying to be a prosecuting attorney.
Yeah,
allegedly, people are having a good time. I'm just saying I haven't been there that much, but when I have to say that I've been there over the years on other shows, like in the Belly Room,
right,
that other people put on, and I've had fun at the Comedy Store, but I was always afraid of the Comedy Store, and I always would agonize about having to either park. I don't think I ever paid for parking, but I would have to park 80 blocks away or whatever.
Yeah.
So I always had this it was always
dread.
It was always
an
dread.
ordeal. Yeah.
I mean, not as dramatic as the plot lines in I'm Dying Up Here.
I will confess, the one time I ever chickened out on a set was at the Comedy Store.
Wow, what happened?
My friend Scott.
This is the kind of story I love.
Yeah, no, and I'm not proud of it, but it happened.
And this was last week, right?
This was just last week. 93, let's say it was. So my friend Scott, who was booking the store at the time,
I think I know him.
He was originally a Twin Cities guy. That's how I knew him. So he leaves a message for me on my phone, and this was back when there weren't cell phones and stuff. So
kids, again, let me footnote again if I can. Let me mansplain and let me footnote.
Let me old-splain this to you.
In the old days, the phones had a cord on them occasionally, and they would when you would call, you'd leave something.
Right. So he left me a message saying, "Hey, I got a set for you in the Belly Room tonight." So I didn't actually call him back. I just decided I'll just go down there for it.
You'll just what?
I'll just go down to the club. It's not like I had to confirm it. He's just like,
far,
"Hey, you're on."
You have not shown up.
Hey, right. Hey, you're on.
Yeah.
At this time. So I go into the Belly Room. I go to the club, and I go to the Belly Room upstairs, and it's in a completely black crowd with Eddie Griffin on stage, and he is just tearing the room up, just really ferociously killing
right.
on stage. And I go over, I look at the list, and it says Eddie Griffin, and then right after it says Josh Weinstein, and I turn around and I walk out of the Belly Room.
Oh, you were scared to death.
Scared to death, and walked out of the Belly Room and called my friend the next day. "Oh man, I didn't get your message."
Right, and since then, Josh, that's when Josh then worked for the Anti-Defamation League. I don't know what I'm saying. No, but here's the thing. I never worked what they call, quote, black rooms or whatever. And but there were rooms where, and it's not just a race thing, because in England they have these rooms too, where like in England I felt it was similar to what they call black rooms because it's very aggressive and they're challenging you. So like if an audience says, I don't know if you are funny, my reaction is, I'm with you.
Right, exactly.
I'm probably not funny.
I am willing to take no for an answer. And that happened because plus I did have some PTSD from there was in Kansas City at Stanford and Sons. They had a radio night, which is a black station radio night, and I would just get my ass torn up.
You mean people would boo you?
Yeah, it would be very.
Did they call you?
It was sport.
Did they call you Jew boy and things like that?
And I did not have my alpha male energy down all the way.
Hey,
when I was
Josh,
18 years old in Kansas
City. I was with your mother last night. Stuff like that.
Oh yes, sir. I'm sure she was great.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing because also there are comics. I mean, it is. I still think it's very strange that comedy is still. I don't know. It's segregated. It's not like.
I don't think it's fully segregated.
It's not
but
fully
there are
segregated
segregated
areas.
There are segregated venues for sure.
Let me put it this way. I think that the races are still segregated. But look, I'm not. I haven't moved to Washington Heights, or it's not like I'm mixing it up.
Right.
I am in Sherman Oaks. I'm out there. I have street cred.
Yes. You do have Sherman Oaks street cred.
But the other part of it is that it's like anything else. I wouldn't want to play the Apollo Theater either.
Right.
But maybe you would play the Apollo Theater. Here's the dream you have.
Right.
I normally wouldn't do well in this room.
Right. But.
Right.
Yeah, no.
But these people will, and then that's even worse, because now you've set yourself up for, you know what? This Jew's okay, and then it's not okay.
I was just so proud to have done my time, like in that Kansas City show. Like I was. What
was your best bit?
My best bit was "Good night." Was my best bit.
Do I have any? Are my black people in the house tonight? You do anything like that? Were you overly solicitous?
I was just like white knuckling, so to speak, behind the microphone.
White knuckling. Oh my God! Well, I think you're a coward.
Now I've confessed to my cowardly.
I think you're a coward.
I was a coward.
You know what I would have done?
Run.
I would have run out, bought a prop trunk. I don't know when we went over in those rooms. Now I'm acting self-conscious. Please take out all of the parts of me being white and self-conscious.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm very. My OCD.
I'll go back to episode 1.
Well, my OCD makes me overly conscious of how people are perceiving me. So if you say anything, I'm going to say, are people going to think I'm racist, sexist, bigoted, like bestiality porn? What are they going to think? What are they going to think? So I'm very, very. I've got a lot of problems, but I'm so much better now. I've gone off. What do they say when you go off?
The weird thing, but the weird dichotomy about you is you have shame, but no editing function. So you don't hold back what you'll tell people. You don't.
You're communicating to me.
You're afraid of them judging you.
You're communicating to me very much how people communicate on Twitter. They go, you don't have this. They say things about you they couldn't possibly know were true, right? Like you said, I have no editing ability.
Right.
Well, that's not true. I do edit, but when things go wrong, I'll give you a perfect example. I had one of these positive email experiences. We all know email. If you don't know what you're doing with email, it can be the worst tool that you can use. You look at someone's words. What do they mean by that?
Right.
And then it could be 5 weeks and you're on a big email rant. Right?
Okay.
So I don't know how I got on this either. No, but I don't know why I said email.
I don't know. You were on some jag. I triggered you somehow.
You
felt like I was Twitter lecturing you about something.
Yeah. But what was the general...
You had a good email experience the other day, you said.
Good email experience.
You had a good perfectly good email experience.
Yeah, with who?
Jesus Christ.
If someone can recommend a solution to this problem that I've had on every single podcast. I think it could be the Prozac. I think it could be. What if I'm I toured the country as Alzheimer for a couple of months.
That's a clever joke. That is really
senile jokes are.
That's really non-punny.
Have you heard my senile chunk?
Yes.
Hardening of the arteries.
Yes, I have weekly.
On the bad news is there's hardening of the arteries. The good news is there's some kind of hardening going on.
Hey, I'm telling everybody.
I'm telling everybody. I'm telling everybody. I don't remember what it was now.
Okay, well.
But it was some kind of positive thing that if I take it the wrong way would be negative. What's the point of me continuing on? First of all...
No, you don't have to.
No. What I'm saying is this. No. Why am I continuing on even in this vein? I'm not helping anything by
You're
yelling.
trying to buy yourself time until you think of your point.
No, I'm yelling at myself. But
it's
here's
a
the thing.
mechanism.
I would think that once you would know what I had just said.
I gave you 6 or 7
You
cues
did. You
there.
gave me a lot of clues. Well, until that point in the podcast, this was our best one. And this is 10 podcasts in, right?
That's right.
This is now. What do we do? Do we have a giveaway?
I gave you a shirt.
I know that was very nice. You gave me a Thoughts Power shirt, which you can't buy, folks.
No, I was just testing. What happened was when we were designing the logo, I went on the site to a shirt designing site to see if the logo looked good on a shirt as part of the design thing. But then I left it on there, and then they started emailing me, hey, your design is sitting here. Hey, we can just make you a shirt.
Oh, my God. You are, talk about an easy mark.
I was a totally
Even
easy
I
mark.
wouldn't give into that one because it's an email. They can't see me. I don't have to respond
No,
to
I
them.
wasn't. I felt, it just.
Obligated.
They happened to hit me at no, I didn't feel obligated.
You were flush.
I felt impulse buy.
That's right. You were flush.
Yeah. So I put the order in, and then the next day I get an email back from them saying we can't do this because this logo is for the podcast of Andy Kindler.
Is this a joke?
No. And then they go, and they give me your contact info from your website. You can ask Andy Kindler for permission. So I write them back, with indignant tone. I am J. Elvis Weinstein. I am the co-host and co-owner of the podcast. And then they write me back. Oh, we're very sorry. We see that now. You're carrying the podcast. You're totally the best part of the podcast.
Oh, they even went out of their way. Wow, they weighed in.
We'll put it in our file that you're totally carrying Andy. Okay, that's good. So we got the shirts, but it was
First of all I care about. That was a thing of water that did not spill on your laptop.
It was.
Because there was a cap on it.
Right. That's what makes it such a good story.
All I care about is, man, I didn't know I was so well known online in the various different places.
Yes. If you search Thought Spiral.
Was this Cafe Express? What's that one?
I don't want to say.
Oh, that's true. You don't want to say.
No.
But
I did appreciate that they protected our
cool.
copyright material.
So now, if we don't get the paywall installed the way you want it, right, then we do these kind of commercials.
Yes, that was like a little infomercial for shirts that'll be on sale in a year and a half.
Hey, Josh, you know what I need? I need something on the T-shirt. Where would I get that from? So we're right in the middle of summer, folks. Summer started
tomorrow, the 4th of July.
4th of July,
241 years ago, Thomas Jefferson was up cramming right now. Going to have the slaves make coffee. I need to write more about the pursuit of happiness, freedom thing.
Oh, I saw that. Now, you tweeted that today, too.
Yeah, thanks.
And you're sneaking your
so
goddamn
much.
tweet into our podcast. I can't even believe
this is like my brother when we were kids. If someone
you have a joke book. You're reaching for a joke book.
Someone would try to sneak a mad joke into conversation, and then we would just bust each other. Oh, yeah, that was a good joke. In mad.
You would substitute mad jokes?
My brother and I would try to take credit. Yeah.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
pretty good.
And
mad.
Yeah, but we would not let each other get away with it.
Well, the 4th of July... Well, I like that I caught you, though, because that's my whole thing. You can't get anything past me.
No.
Not the... 4th of July is a generally bad holiday, and it's just not that great. even at its best.
Yeah.
Ba ba bing, yappa do, bo bo bo, shmoopy do, bo bo bo, bo bo bang bang. Now, fireworks shows, the greatest.
Really, I'm completely on the opposite side of the coin from that.
Well, I'm not talking about seeing one on TV.
No.
Or in your laptop.
The last time my wife got super irritated at me was at a fireworks show because I was not enjoying it to her liking.
I think the worst thing to do is to go to a fireworks show and then to have a bad time. You can't summon up enough.
I was completely blasé about it because fireworks are boring, Andy.
All right, now wait a second.
I don't like crowds, first of all.
Why did you agree to go to this thing?
Because my wife wanted to go.
Right,
sometimes we do these things in a marriage.
So you wanted
it was the last time, I assure you, and it was several years ago now.
You wanted to ruin her enjoyment of our nation's Independence Day?
No, I wanted to teach her that dragging me to things I don't want to go to isn't always a winning strategy.
Well, you maybe have never seen a good fireworks show, then.
I've seen lots of fireworks shows.
And you don't care anything about it?
I don't care that much.
They're beautiful.
Because the first fireworks show I saw is almost exactly like the last one I saw.
I don't think so. I think you're dead inside.
Well, that is a certainty.
Wow, I never knew this. I when I was a kid, I used to go to summer camp.
Yeah.
We would go to summer camp and we'd have an amazing show on the 4th of July. Maybe that's why I've always had a reverence for it.
Right.
Because we would shoot out, it was in YMCA camps, and even though I was a Jew, and we would shoot out onto the lake. And I guess we were all like nestled in there that it was like a magical event.
Yeah.
So I've held on to that.
Okay, well.
And in Montreal, I don't know if I mentioned I go to the Montreal Festival.
No, it has to come up.
Yeah, I don't. Every year they have a firework thing where each night they have a different country do it.
Oh, yeah?
And it's pretty amazing. But you wouldn't know. What kind of a thrill are you looking for? You don't like crowds.
Don't like crowds all that much, no. I like being in front of them.
Well, yeah, because that's where you come alive.
Yes, exactly.
But wait a second. Have you ever been on top of a roof? You're just looking at a fireworks show from your vantage without all the people.
I've seen. Yes, I've had.
And how was that?
I've had many high-quality fireworks viewing experiences.
Yeah,
and they're okay. You know.
Why are you so? What happened to you? What happened to you? was your one of your parents stole your fireworks?
They took us. My dad actually really liked fireworks. My dad it brought out a delicious childhood. My dad used to have M60s and M80s that he'd love to blow up on 4th of July.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he'd sit there with his Terratin and light the fuses.
With his who?
His Terratin cigarette.
Oh my God, that is living. That's the 50s and 60s.
Yeah,
or 70s.
My dad liked toys in general.
Well, I went through a period where I loved fireworks. I loved to buy them. Like 10 packs of firecrackers.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I just was like, it was like drugs to me. It was like the greatest feeling. And then I just grew out of it. I really think I was scared I would blow a finger off.
Yeah, well, they lay the groundwork for that fear when you're a kid.
Yeah. Also, you know what else they lay? Fuses that could be a little longer.
Right. From highly reputable companies.
Why are you cutting back on your cherry bomb fuse? Hey, Milton, I can get a better deal if you just go with a slightly smaller fuse.
We can save ½ cent a unit.
It's louder for the kids.
That's right. Creates a bigger thrill pre-explosion.
That was my favorite. I loved Dan Aykroyd when he was Mainway.
Right. Irving Mainway.
It's the greatest.
This is Bag of Glass.
Yeah. The kids love it, Jane.
Johnny Oily Rag.
Dan Aykroyd, when he does that kind of a character, let's go back now starting with Fibber and McGee, ending with Molly. It's not Fibber and McGee, right?
Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
What kind of name is that? That's why I don't think I would have enjoyed the Golden Age. I was like, who named someone Fibber? Is that because he lied? You never listened to him?
Yes.
Have you listened to the Rosenbergs? Have you studied any of your history?
The Goldbergs, you mean? Yes, I have. You?
That was a burn. That's what the kids today call a burn.
A
sick burn.
The old Julius and Ethel Rosenberg sitcom. Hey, should we sell the bomb to the Russians?
Julia and... What's your take on Julia? I like Ethel. Julius... Not crazy about?
Not a great straight man.
That was the worst comedy duo.
Did
they get killed?
Yes.
They got executed?
Yes.
And we don't... What's your take is if they were guilty or not?
I think they were guilty.
They were?
I think so.
Not the Goldbergs. What
No.
were they giving secrets to the Russians?
I think so, yeah.
Because they liked Stalin's view towards Jews so much? I'm not going into the spy game. I know the money's good.
You would be the last person one would suspect.
Could you imagine me trying to pull off being a double agent? I have the world record for getting murdered in my underground plot.
We have ways to make you stop talking.
Well, see, every time you say that, I'm reminded that when I was a kid, one of the wonderful ladies who drove me to Sunday school, I never understood this.
Yeah.
I was sent to Sunday school.
As was I.
I don't understand it because Sunday school is when Christians would go to church.
Right.
And so I don't think until last week I realized that our Sabbath is on a different day.
Yeah, well, it wasn't for...
Well, I still don't
You
get
didn't
it.
go there on Sabbath. You went there to work first at Sunday school.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
like, how can we ruin the whole weekend?
You had to go too? Why? Do you think they delighted that much? How can we get the kids... Look.
Let's see, we got them on Saturday. Let's give them on a Sunday morning, too.
Well, how do we get them out of the house on Sunday?
We'll keep them from watching Billy Graham.
And you know what was so great? I don't know about your Sunday school, but we learned the same thing every year, worse.
I rebelled against my whole... I was mad at my parents about the amount of religious training they had my brother and I go through, considering how little religion they felt in their lives.
Well, Sunday school's too much.
Sunday
One day a week?
I had to go to Hebrew school like 3 times a week.
Oh, my
after
God.
school,
Like yeshiva or something?
It was called Talmud Torah, it was called. And it was like 2 hours after school, like 3 times a week. It would be like Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'd have to go on.
Have you had that as a hand roll ever?
The Talmud Torah?
Yes. Yes. It took me...
Thought Spiral brought to you by...
I didn't even hear what you were saying. All I was thinking about was getting that joke.
Sushi joke.
Talmud Torah? Have you had it as a hand roll? It took me that long to come up with something.
That was the perfect example of my mom's behavior being, what will people think? Because my parents went to the synagogue like for holidays.
Right. So
But
they sent you?
And when they sent us, which I get the whole like...
No, you don't. It's a
train your
ridiculous
kids
thing.
so they have something to choose or not. But it was too much.
And how many years did you go?
I went like a lot. I went until almost high school.
And you learned Hebrew and crap?
The last day I went was the first day of the year when I think I was in 9th grade, and I got kicked out of both classes for being a smartass. And I went home and told my mom, it's over. It's over.
Did you enjoy your bar mitzvah?
Not really. No, it was too much bullshit.
I thought I would enjoy my
And I skipped a grade, so I was like younger than all my friends, so they had already had their bar mitzvahs, and so I was just like...
Oh, you skipped a grade? Isn't that weird? Or you don't know because you just have your experience?
But yeah, it was weird.
You like 2-year SP or something? What do they have?
What?
That's an East Coast term. 2-year SP is 2-year special program that you could take 3 years of classes in 2 years. I never did that.
That's kind of what happened. They moved me from 2nd to 3rd grade in the middle of the year.
Oh.
My brother skipped a grade too, but he went from 4th to 6th. Like he just skipped 5th.
It's not like you got a racket going on.
We did. The Weinsteins really...
You guys just wanted to get in, get out. How can I get my kids in here and get them out early? What do you got? Let me see that 5th
Save
grade.
some of that public school money.
Yeah. Let me see that 5th grade curriculum. Garbage. Put them right. Why does your parents talk like that? I don't understand.
It wasn't really a good impression.
That's not a cool thing.
Not so much.
This is unbelievable. I would say this is our best show so far. And I can't believe those people at the T-shirt company prefer you over me, and they think you carry the podcast.
I thought it was good business of them.
So the 4th of July...
Was it a thing in your family when you were a kid? Or
Yeah,
were you always at camp?
No, this was actually... I was at camp and had the fireworks.
Uh-huh.
But earlier, I clearly remember my cousin Carl and Beverly. Carl would come over, and he had all of those fun ones. The snakes.
Right. Snakes were fun. I like that.
I love those. He had the sparklers, which still get me.
Right.
And then other stuff. Nothing big though, but he had stuff.
Yeah, I liked fireworks that you could play with yourself. I just didn't like fireworks displays. To me, were just too much hassle for the payoff.
Yeah, he was like I felt like Carl was like our professional family member.
I just spent a week at Disney World once, and they do fireworks big each night.
Was it?
We were shooting there. That's why.
Oh,
I would
this is
never.
an adult story.
This is not how
What
I would
show
spend
was
a
this?
vacation. America's Funniest Home Videos.
You did field shoots?
Yeah, for the season
With Tom
finale.
Bergeron?
This was with Tom Bergeron, and it was me and Trace Beaulieu.
In the same hotel room, or?
No, at the same hotel, but they put us. I mean, it was horrible because we would only shoot at night. We'd shoot at 10:00.
Right.
After the park
What
would
were they
close,
shooting?
we were shooting like wraparounds because
Oh,
it was
with
like
the crowd?
it was our season finale show, and it was
Yeah.
ABC because so Disney owns it, so it was like
Right.
cross promotion. But we could only shoot after 10
Yeah,
when
'cause
the
they
park
can't
closed.
close
So
the
all day you'd be waiting around to go to work, and we were staying at like Disney's Animal Kingdom. So it was like being in Papillon basically. It was like with a bar, thankfully.
But you didn't have to work. They didn't make you work.
We didn't have to
Nothing
work
do.
all day. There was nothing to do. You had to just kill the day at Disney World.
Didn't Tom Bergeron say, "Come on, give me 5 more"?
No, we just had to walk around in case he needed a line, basically, when we were shooting.
Oh, right.
You know,
Right.
they didn't really need us all there, but they wanted us all there. So.
Didn't you on those kind of shoots want to have your mind wander more?
Absolutely. So it was a hostage situation, but they do good fireworks at Disney.
Well, they do a lot of things right, except Union. We didn't like the Union so much.
Huh?
Walt Disney.
Right.
Did you ever see that
Or the
documentary?
Jews. He didn't like the Jews. So
Well, they
much
said that.
either.
I don't know. Is that proven they didn't like the
I
Jews?
think it's documented enough so that we can take it.
Let
as
me
a
just say, it's
fact.
documented enough that I'm glad I never went over to his house for dinner.
Exactly. No, Disney is really good at what they do. If you're like willing to suspend your financial disbelief, they will take care of your family.
That's the Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
Yes. Can you imagine a world without money?
Yes.
I stayed at the Disneyland Hotel in Florida, and the wake-up call was Mickey. Hey, time to get up. Hi, it's Mickey.
Please don't tell me to go fuck myself.
No, this was a recording. Hi, it's Mickey. Time to get up. Lots of big doings going on. Lots of big doings. And since that day, I can't look at a cartoon. You know, like you told me that if you had a choice between comedy and puns, you would pick puns. But I have noticed that this guy who was like one of my bet noirs.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that expression?
I'm trying to contextualize it.
But it's an enemy.
Yeah.
Your black bug.
Okay.
It was Jake Tapper. He bugs me in many ways, and one of the things that bugs me about him is he does State of the Cartoonian.
Yeah.
At the end of his show.
That's wrong on every level.
Have you seen that?
Of course
segment?
I have. Yes.
If you hear and after this State of the Cartoonian, it's the end of the show.
Right.
What? Oh, I wonder what
It's
these.
like, and we'll be back with Andy Rooney.
Oh man, we'll be back with Andy Rooney. Why wouldn't I trim my eyebrows? I'm not dead yet, ostensibly.
I hear they keep growing once I am.
Have you heard my Andy Rooney's current, what's it called at the end? A Minute with Andy Rooney? Here he
Sure.
is. I'm dead. I've been dead many years now.
We did this bit.
I don't care. Let's do it again. We did it on this show?
Yes.
Holy God. Well, maybe I have a new take on it. I'm dead. How much longer will I be in this coffin? How much longer will I be self-aware? Come on, Josh. These are hits.
It's officially a podcast old people marriage now.
That's right. Have I told it? This is us. This is us like not even 100 shows. This is us 4 shows from now. Did I ever tell you about the time?
Yes.
I told you I did.
You told me.
America's Funniest Videos at Disneyland.
Yes.
Hey,
We never owned a Buick.
did you ever do your baby laughing on the show?
Jeff Cesario talking about.
Was that?
Jeff Cesario's impression of old couples walking through the mall. We never owned a Plymouth.
That is
I don't
both
even remember the
hilarious
rest.
and depressing.
It is.
That's going to be me. I really am going to be in a few years. I'm old. Who knew I'd be this old? When is it over for me?
Stay tuned, folks.
Josh, 20 years we've been doing the podcast.
That's right.
And we never did it for money, right?
We never put up a paywall.
We never made money from it.
It's just a hobby.
It's just a hobby, which is a great joke.
It is a great joke.
Did we do Volvo for sale? Did we do that joke?
Yeah, we did.
So Shmoy me and Hoy me, they got together and you Shmoy me. What's the matter? I'm very depressed. Well, then, why don't you get a hobby? A hobby? Yes, a hobby. I have a hobby. I collect bees. I put them in a jar. Very nice. Do you put holes in the top of the jar? No. Well, they're going to die. So what? It's just a hobby. Have we? Okay, now, did you know, I have a thing I could bring up, but then you might have something to bring up. So
go for it.
Carvel.
Oh, yes.
Carvel sent me a gift.
What did you get?
Well, first of all, I don't necessarily try to get free things, but I wish I could do it more. You know, like, I really like you, Cold Stone Creamery. I did a joke about Cold Stone Creamery on Letterman, and I got coupons.
Yeah, which isn't that sexy.
It's not that sexy. But Todd Barry, he will do it. He's hilarious. He will get hi, I'd like a sample of your headphones. Boom. I'd like your Maserati, a sample. Boom. Yeah. He does it in every case.
Right.
I'm not that aggressive. So Carvel, I don't know how I started tweeting about Carvel, but as soon as they followed me, I followed them. I'm not kidding around.
Right.
And I grew up with Carvel, which you didn't.
I did not.
Did you feel deprived?
Only once we got WOR on cable.
Why was they had commercials for Carvel?
Yeah.
And did they have it in the supermarkets?
Fudgy the Whale.
Fudgy the Whale.
Cookie Puss.
Cookie Puss. Well, Tom Carvel was the head of Carvel. Hey, I talk like this. And he was one of the 3 impressions I did when I was growing up.
Okay.
I did, hey, Jerry. You know this one? Hey, Jerry, what's the story? What's the story, Jerry? The story is you come in to JGE. You must be a member of a union or a family. So in other words, if you go in there and you say, I'm not affiliated with you, forget it.
I think forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
But you did. Doesn't ring a bell to you, right, Jerry?
No.
Okay. The Wiz?
No.
Doesn't it feel like you're undergoing a dental procedure when I start with the annoying questions? Yes.
I was trying to be.
So they sent me a gift. It's a 40-year anniversary of the birth of Fudgy the Whale. Fudgy the Whale is not a real person. They treat him like he is.
He's not a real person, really?
No, they sent me a thing. Fudgy the Whale wishes you, says hi.
Right, okay.
They sent me a tiny, what are those little stuffed animals? Like, not plush, but Beanie Baby, something. They sent me a Fudgy the Whale stuffed animal.
Okay.
And they sent me a really cool Carvel or ice cream cake knife or server.
Like a serving knife.
Yeah.
But there was no ice cream they sent you.
They sent me a little Carvel gift card, which the ladies love.
Which is really useful here in L.A.
No, there is. There is one in West L.A. where I've been going to for many years.
There you go.
It's on Santa Monica and Sepulveda, Carvel. And there used to be a couple more.
A delicious post-therapy treat.
Have you had... Oh, great. Now people will be coming down to my sessions now.
That's right.
Have you had Carvel?
They're coming to you. If they're listening here, they're coming to your sessions.
Have you had Carvel soft ice cream ever?
I have, yes.
It's amazing,
It's
right?
very good, yes.
Where'd you have it?
I had it in New York, and I had it, I believe, in Virginia.
Right. You travel.
I've left the city. I've left the city before. I had sort of an exciting thing like that delivered. The other day, I'm going out to my front door to go to the gym, and there's this giant Amazon Fresh delivery, like these 2 big, like cooler bags and a couple of other bags.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I look, and I'm like, did my wife order this? And I look, and it's like it's for a different address.
Is it an address that you can recognize the address?
It's an address on my street, but far down the street.
Too far down.
Yeah, well, I was like, they're in the grocery delivery business. I, on the other hand, am not.
Oh, so they should come pick it up.
So that's what I'm thinking. But first of all, I'm late, so I just go to my thing. I go to my, because they're all insulated, whatever. And then an hour later, I come home and go, all right, I'm going to deal with this. It was too much shit for me to like want to take it down to the neighbor's house, a block away. So
do you know who they are? First,
I don't know who they are. No.
That's a whole thing too.
That's the whole thing too. I don't need.
Remember the time you brought us up for Amazon?
Exactly. This is like this. I'm going to try to negotiate this without having to deal with people.
Are you a comedian?
That's right. So I call Amazon, or first I think I emailed them first. It's hard to call Amazon. First of all,
I wouldn't even think they have a number.
But there's always a number if you search on the internet. So I found a customer service number. They're like, well, the health department. I said, I told them the thing. They're like, well, the health department says we can't pick it up. So either keep it or donate it.
Wow.
And so part of me is going, yippee, free food.
Because
Part
you're
of me
Jewish.
And part of me is going, why is this my fucking problem now?
Also because you're Jewish.
Right.
I like getting something free. Who needs the aggravation?
So as we've discussed, I'm on a carb-free diet.
Is it really carb-free?
It's total carb aversion. It's not carb-free.
But can't you die without carbs?
There's carbs that happen.
Okay, give me an example of a carb you can eat.
Well, like the low amount that happen in nuts, or there's like
Oh,
food, I'm trying. I can have like 20. I don't measure anything, but
Right.
but it's supposed to be like under 20 grams or whatever.
Right, but you're not opening up the day with Cheerios up the yin yang.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to say Cheerios.
So I start opening up this stuff, and it's Fritos and Pringles and soda and 4 things of Ben and Jerry's. And
are you kidding me? Ice cream?
yes, it is like every form of. There's chocolate. There's cookies.
Oh,
There's like every. So now my house is like this trap has become a trap for me.
well, now I would imagine that you did keep the ice cream at one point. You can on your cheating day.
Threw it away the other day.
Well, what about Allison?
She's on.
Oh, do we know that you have a real wife?
I have an actual wife.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes,
because I keep.
and she's nicer than the one in my act. No, with my Allison, she took most of it to school, and then I threw away the ice cream because it started haunting us both.
Yeah, but then she comes home. Oh, I can't wait to get into that ice cream. Maybe she doesn't like sweets that much.
No, we consulted.
Oh, and she said, "Look, I
the ice cream
understand
was
your
there
pain.
for 2 days in the freezer.
What
'cause
kind
she
of
was
ice was it everything but the world?
It was fish food, 2 things of
I
fish
love that
food.
gooey marshmallow goodness,
And then 2 things of like double brownie fudge.
and not the yogurt, right?
Not the yogurt. It was full on ice cream, and it hurt. It hurt having it in the house.
Yeah. Well, I would like presents or toys. That's what I wish they had sent you.
Yeah, there was not a single thing I could eat.
Or weed.
Weed would have been good.
You just think this time next year, we'll get our weed from Amazon Fresh.
Now that they bought Whole Foods, especially.
I'm telling you, the second, you know how everybody orders their food with DoorDash or whatever.
Yeah.
The second, the people, Americans will get lazy about everything, and they're like, I don't want to go down to that pot shop.
They've already have delivery.
They have.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah. They'll do it. If you have a medical card, there are places that deliver.
All I know is that I am going to, when it kicks in, I'm going to get edibles.
When it kicks in?
Yeah, like when it's completely legal in California, and we also, but I do worry about Jeff Sessions. I worry about him because he's a racist,
Right.
and he has a horrible drawl.
Yes, he does. And bad people smoke marijuana.
Bad people smoke marijuana.
I'm in a documentary making fun of Jeff Sessions and his marijuana stuff
my
that's
God.
coming out. Yeah.
Well, can you believe how it's amazing that it's legal and it's so great, but that we live in the same lifetime where they went after Tommy Chong. That was the first thing
Right.
George W. Bush did.
Right. For bong sales.
Unbelievable.
Justice is not here, man.
Is that your political
That's my spin.
Cheech and Chong?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Cheech-
Now, I've never watched a whole movie of theirs. Have you?
Sure, when I was a kid.
Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke. And I think Nice Dreams. And I watched most of them when they were on cable when I was a kid because they were on.
How many times have you seen the movie Go ahead and hate your neighbor. What is that movie with Billy Jack?
Billy Jack.
Yeah. How many times have you seen that?
I've seen it more than once because of cable when I was a kid.
I've seen it probably 10 times. And I'm still fascinated by it.
It's a fascinating movie.
He said, I'm going to take my foot. I'm going to put it on the side of your head.
Right.
Not a damn thing you're going to be able to do about it.
And
Really?
and sure enough.
He does.
Sure enough.
That's an inside-out crescent kick.
One tin soldier kicks your face.
And then she goes, there's that scene where she goes, you don't think I've suffered? Because he's like, oh, I want to go berserk. I always like when he would talk about going berserk. I can't deal with it. And she go, you don't think I have anger?
Right.
You know, I think that movie might.
He was like the Hulk without makeup, kind of.
He was. And another hero of mine as a kid died, Michael Parks.
Oh yeah.
Who played the lead, and then came Bronson, which was after your time.
Yeah.
No, before your time. Before your time.
I don't know what was it.
It was like a 1-hour drama about a guy who you couldn't understand one word he said because it was that whole like Easy Rider kind of feel to it. And he would just ride around in a motorcycle and be totally cool. I don't remember one plot line, but he would say things like, "Is that right? Is that right?" I love the acting from those days.
Yeah.
You know.
I had a similar show, but it was BJ and the Bear.
You see, that's the thing. I feel superior to your childhood.
Sure.
I had the Monkees.
Yeah, I had the Monkees too, but it was in
Weren't the Monkees in the 60s?
Yeah, but they were on every day.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't have had any more cheesy show than the Superman TV show, and I couldn't get enough of it as a kid. We just watched it. We watched every episode probably 100 times.
Really? That was like a daily afternoon rerun?
Yeah, and that wasn't even the first time they played them because they were from the 50s.
Right.
I'm trying to get this show to be like an Antiques Roadshow or a History of the Comics. I want this show to have legs, so we might have to segue into a...
We'll cut away to a rolling piece.
See, that's the thing. It's very funny about you, but you didn't care about it. That's the thing that makes me laugh. You said something very funny, but without any concern. Cut away to a rolling piece. I would have been all over that. And then we cut away to a rolling piece. Oversell it.
I tour as less is more.
Wait a second. Is that your name?
That's
less
my name.
Is more?
Yes.
Perhaps you see my act? Yes, and? What do you have coming up this week? What's happening with you?
Once I get through the 4th and those horrible, horrible fireworks.
Oh, that's tomorrow. And how did the dogs react?
They aren't freak-out dogs about the fireworks, but they don't love it.
It was actually my most depressing... I've had a couple of depressing times, and I think I was trying to take drugs, or I took the wrong drugs, or it was supposed to be ecstasy, or it wasn't ecstasy. But one time on the 4th of July, I wasn't having I started to play guitar, and I started to play the Dave Alvin song, The 4th of July. And it's a very plaintive song, and I just got very depressed during it. Stopped playing. I said, wow, it's a brilliant song.
Yeah.
But it's also deep.
So you just bummed yourself out for the entire day?
Out, which had happened a lot. You didn't take a lot of different drugs, did you?
I really didn't, no.
No, I did. I took
kind of found my drug and stuck with it.
Yeah. What was that?
It's pot.
Oh, pot.
Not a gateway drug for me. Weed has been a long tunnel drug for me.
But I did like all the hallucinogenics.
Did you?
And I had bad trips, too. I went to a Grateful Dead concert once, and I got off a bus, and the guy says, take 6, they're weak. Those were the days where
so were you.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was. I just knew 5 wasn't enough.
Right.
So those were the days. I don't know what that proved. I'm just lucky I'm alive.
Yeah, I didn't. I was those days. I mean, I was like, I came up during the Reagan administration. I was a teenager, so drugs. Even by the time I was a comic as a teen, it's like the guys who were doing coke they were like sneaking off to the bathroom to do coke. They weren't.
Right.
They weren't like laying out rails on tables anymore.
No, coke. The brand got branded badly.
Yeah.
But I did do the classic take LSD and go see the Grateful Dead a few times.
Did you?
Yeah. And I think you can only see concerts like that on drugs.
I don't think I would. I never did.
I don't think I like concerts. Is what I'm trying to say.
I don't like concerts. I don't like concerts so much either.
I like a concert.
I did as a kid. I loved concerts, but only mostly to say that I went to the concert more than.
The worst show I ever went to was the Rolling Stones at the Coliseum.
Really?
Yeah, it's like watching four little ants. Do you want to watch four little ants, or how many they had, or do you want to watch them on the screen on a bad projection screen?
I saw it. John Fugelsang gave Trace and I tickets to the Stones once, I think in Anaheim, and it was super boring.
Well, Stones in Anaheim, right there, I would be. Now the thing is, I have a theory, which is not a theory because I'm not a scientist, but I think stand-up got popular. One of the reasons why it got popular was because shows became so impersonal. You know, like you thought you were going to Woodstock, but then it became 300,000 people at the Coliseum. So that's why stand-up got popular.
You think?
No.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
You know, I'm never going to tell you a story again where you look like you're either dying or you're trying to do an impression of the most bored human being in the history of the world.
I nailed it, didn't I?
That was unbelievable. I felt dirty continuing on. I think I'm an annoying interviewer.
Are you interviewing me?
Kind of, in a way, sometimes I feel I am.
I don't know.
Well, here's what I think of when I'm talking.
Okay.
Andy, are you listening to the person? Or are you doing your usual thing where you're trying to get your funny thing in there?
Right.
And then I have to remind myself, other people are talking.
Okay, so even your internal dialogue is not listening.
No.
Look like you're listening. Look like you're listening. Are you listening? No, because I'm talking to myself about listening.
Right, so I can't be listening then.
Right.
I like this bit.
It's good.
About the internal dialogue. What?
You said that to yourself.
And that was a good pause. Now, Josh.
Yes.
I want you to bring home this podcast.
Okay.
Bring it home and something high action, some kind of revelation, a deep, dark secret about you.
I already told I chickened out at a Comedy Store set in 1992.
That was good. You have told enough. You've bared your soul enough.
Yeah, I think I pretty much emptied my spleen on that one.
Hey, Josh, if people want to get in touch with the Thought Spiral, what do they do?
Well, probably the smartest thing to do would be email us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. Or you can get in touch with us on Twitter at ThoughtSpiral.
How many emails have we gotten? More than 4?
Not a ton of emails. Some emails.
You know, you're supposed to...
A couple of them were derisive. A couple of them were happy.
I'm not supposed to ask a question that the answer is bad to.
It's not a bad. It's not a bad.
Well, we've
answer.
gotten 3 emails.
We have thousands and thousands of listeners. They just aren't very interactive.
Well, I want to do those things like where they have a phone. You call up a phone line, like, hey, you leave your message for Thought Spiral.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy's great, and Josh is fun.
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
You know who's great and fun is Gail Simone, who keeps saying really nice things about us on Twitter.
This is unbelievable. I can't even believe it.
Brilliant comic book writer, Gail Simone.
Gail Simone, and she's raving about us, almost to the point where I wonder who she's talking about.
That's right. Is there another Thought Spiral podcast?
It's not our Thought Spiral.
No. So thanks, Gail.
Thank you, Gail. And this not only is a thank to Gail Simone, it is a shout out.
It is a full certified shout out. And go to iTunes and rate our show and leave a review.
Would you say we're the most popular song on iTunes? Song?
What? Yeah, are we the what?
And don't forget, we have the bonus videos. No. Hey, don't forget if you subscribe, you get a coffee something. Josh, I'm telling you, we have to monetize something. I do it for love, and if the money, do it for the money, and if the money comes, that's cool.
It's like The Secret.
I just want to say,
you just have to put it out there that you want.
That is the word. The word secret to me, of all the low down, dirty scams, The Secret was the worst.
Yeah,
because it's basically, hey, psst,
right,
psst, what? If you believe in yourself, anything can come true.
Right.
The Secret was not even a secret. It's just false information.
Right. It's a fantasy conceived by a child.
Right. I want to be a concert pianist.
Right.
I want to come up with a unified field theory. And I just want to say, I don't know if this is going to come out next week and you'll already be over your 4th of July.
Yes, they will.
But this year, think about the fact of why there was a Revolutionary War and why we separated. And if you go, why did we separate from England? Think about assholes like Piers Morgan. That's why we had the Revolutionary War, was to get away from jerks and creeps like him. Simon Cowell, that's why we fought the war.
That's it.
Would it kill you to have a good... I prepared some closes to the show.
Okay.
Will you have a good close?
I don't know.
Until next... How about...
Should we do like a cliffhanger?
Yes, do a cliffhanger.
Okay.
Oh,
Andy,
you know,
Andy, I have a meeting to talk to
what's
you.
wrong?
Now that we've done 10 episodes...
What?
I'm kind of thinking maybe we should...
Hang off a cliff?